r/askreddit. What screams I'm uneducated? Talking about every topic that comes up in conversation as if you know lots about it. Then getting pissed off when someone knows more and corrects you. This is my Miller anyway. Oh, yay. I knew that. I was just thinking of something else and got them mixed up. Yay, yay, yay. That's what I was talking about and you just expanded on it. So many excuses and never a "oh, I didn't know that." Mine, too. She always tries to tell me how things are in America. What we eat, what driving there is like, etc. I'm American. She's never even visited the US. They say they went to the School of Hard Knocks on their social media. Usually followed by the University of Life. I went to the School of Hard Knocks. People always answer the door promptly due to the volume of my knocks. It's a great perk for delivering pizzas. Yup, this is what I'd have posted. When people put joke shit in for education and occupation, it usually means they don't have an education or occupation, and they would look so much better leaving it blank. Edit. Amazing how many people misinterpreted my statement and decided to argue against stuff I never said in the first place. Keep on keeping on, you guys. The inappropriate use of large words. My brother-in-law dated this woman a few years ago who said "per se" after practically every sentence she uttered. She usually said it twice. Per se. Inconceivable. Knowledge is knowing the big words. Wisdom is knowing when to use them. I notice sometimes people use them correctly but on the wrong crowd. Too often an intelligent person can lose the attention and respect of the people simply for laying huge words on them. Sometimes when people don't get the words they even see it as a sign of disrespect. For example, you talking down at me. This, in turn, is how an average but charismatic person can win a crowd over. Having great diction at the right times is an art, I tell you what. I don't know what you're talking about. Using big words always makes me look more photosynthesis. I took my sister-in-law's boyfriend to a small community theater to see my friends play. This was the type of theater where if you're in the first few rows, you are mere feet from the performers. The boyfriend didn't understand what a play was or how to act during a performance. He thought he could interact with the dialogue and action being carried out by the actors. Like it was audience participation improv or something. We kept telling him that all he needed to do was chill and watch, like TV. He couldn't grasp that the performers needed to deliver their lines uninterrupted. Oh my god, that's real bad. He never had to do a play in school or something? Never watched people be at a play at television? Like how can you not know that? That's not uneducated, that's called stupid. This would be my worst nightmare. Whenever anyone says I know everything about that, and it's a pretty deep and important subject. There isn't a lawyer in the world who would ever say, I know everything about the law. There isn't a doctor in the world who would say, I know everything about medicine. There isn't a physicist anywhere in the world who would say, I know everything about the workings of the universe. When you learn extensively on any subject, you become more and more aware of how much you don't know. The best doctor I've ever had, after learning about my medical history, said that she needed to research one of the issues I had because she was unsure of what medication to give me based on prior diagnosis. Moving away from that doctor was honestly the worst part about moving for me. Shit, what I would give to be that physicist. Bragging about not reading. Haha, 100% I haven't read a book since high school. Does Reddit count as reading? If so, I am very smart. Multi-level marketing. Looking at you dumbas who brags about making money from MLM while wearing a fast food hat. Success. Motivation. Achievement. Dedication. I know a lot of highly educated people who still got sucked into MLMs. They're incredibly cult-like. It seems like anyone with basic math skills should know better than to get involved, but they use a ton of manipulative psychological tricks to suck people in. It's so sad to see. I know a woman who has her master's in education and used to teach English. Now her posts are all about young living and pseudoscience bullshit, and written with spelling and grammar she never have let her grade schoolers get away with. When they get their facts from Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, Reddit for that matter. I take what I learn here with a grain of salt until I actually check into it. When someone is in a debate with another person about a certain subject, and all they have are insults and personal attacks instead of making actual arguments backed up with proven facts from reputable sources. Reddit is thick with people who will mock someone's appearance because they disagree with their political or social views. Most of us left that kind of thing behind in middle school, not knowing that Austria and Australia are different countries. Australia is the one with the kangaroos. Austria is the one with Vienna sausages. When I was maybe 7, I went to Austria and my mom bought me a shirt with kangaroos on it and speech bubbles with them saying something like "we're in the wrong place" but in German. G-Day, mate. Let's pop another sausage on the barbie. Similarly, knowing the difference between Georgia and Georgia. The hills are alive with the sound of drop bears. I've done my research. I know my body and 97.2 is a fever for me. Well, in metric you would be dead. I've done my research. Oh cool. Would you mind linking the study you did? Sheer lack of interest in knowledge education and thus knowledge itself. People who brag or are open about cheating to get through classes. Thinking your social media bubble represents most of America. And it applies to the entire world. We don't all live in the USA. Truck balls. They're called truck nuts, son. Get educated. S. For real though, they are called truck nuts. I've seen and still see more than my fair share in my hometown. Bonus points if they are rolling coal at the same time. Unfortunately, a lot of people are formally educated but don't seem to have taken away enough from it to act educated in daily life. One sign that education has not taken root is a lack of critical thinking skills and unawareness that cognitive biases may apply to you just as much as the other guy. Indicators on Reddit of such. People who fiercely launch into a strong opinion based upon a headline of a post without actually reading the story behind it or asking any questions about it. People who are 100%ers. Something or someone or some cause is 100% good or 100% bad. No nuances. No flaws possibly in your own prejudices. No subtlety in arguments. No admission that somebody who opposes you might have a good point. Only the Sith deal in absolutes, you say? People who are 100%ers. Something or someone or some cause is 100% good or 100% bad. No nuances. No flaws possibly in your own prejudices. No subtlety in arguments. No admission that somebody who opposes you might have a good point. This is mental illness, like for reals. One of the core features of my ex-wife's OCD diagnosis was the inability to see things outside of a black and white context. Actual real OCD, not the tee-hee, I'm so quirky bullshit we see a lot. Anti-vax homeschooling parent who graduated from the School of Hard Knocks, but who is a boss BC. They sell crappy leggings and essential oils. One of my childhood friends is this person exactly. Also, she's barely literate. The inability to see the other side of the argument. I find that people without a lot of education typically have very narrow viewpoints and seemingly cannot understand a point unless it totally agrees with their personal position or opinion. That said, I have met plenty of people with educations who have this problem too, but they can usually at least see that there might be logical reasons for differing opinions. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. As somebody else put it, intelligence and wisdom are separate stats. Talking on speakerphone in the break room. Or on a bus train. Every time I see this, they are always holding the phone up towards their mouth like a slice of pizza. If, as an adult, you yell at people for using big words. Some dude at work was talking at me about politics and I used the word disenfranchise. He freaked out, called me a fucking idiot because he didn't know what that word meant, and he told me not to use big words with him anymore. I just stared at him, said no, then left. All my life, if a person uses a word I don't know, I ask what it means. I was having a disagreement with my father-in-law over how to handle a situation. I used the word ergonomic and he literally rolled his eyes at me. My wife looked over at me and immediately escorted her father out of the room. When even autocorrect can't fix your shit. Because autocorrect memorized your stupid typos. Comma, that one hurt. I'm from Mississippi. They don't teach spelling here. We have to figure it out for ourselves. using it's just a theory to dismiss science. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Something anti-vax. I'm a mom and I know what's best for my kid, and this doctor only went to school for 6+ years to study medicine, so he thinks he can tell me that my essential oils won't prevent my child from getting measles. Having the assumption that everyone has the same issues as you and that they can be fixed the same way. Examples. Etc. 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 Having a bunch of kids because you can't figure out birth control. Or having a bunch of kids because you can't figure out what to do with your life and you figure you're just supposed to have kids. Constantly bitching about why the millennial generation isn't doing things the way older generations did. That and trying to argue with people in graduate school pursuing earth science degrees about how climate change is made up. First one is my family. Whenever they get together, it's always the younger generation think they're too good for what we had, or they don't know how to do things but be on their phones. Like, fuck you Uncle Gary, I'm reading the news on my phone. Usage of the word libtard and the word cuck. Can't formulate an argument? Doesn't matter, call them a cuck. If they object, reinforce that they're a cuck. They keep making sensible arguments that undermine your opinion belief. Doesn't matter, who cares what the cuck thinks? I mean, I already called them a cuck, so everything they say must be bullshit. Equally, Republican. I'm a liberal. Don't hurt me. Those pants with juicy on the butt. How, what year is it? 2005? The username the big stupid. Man, I hate that guy. Flat earthers. This product will cleanse all the toxins from my body. So your kidneys and liver are just on vacation or what? I don't reckon I need no fancy book learning. People who don't acknowledge mental illness. On its own, I think this reads like an asshole question. That said, I actually experienced real dumbass, uneducated commentary many times over the past 2 decades of living in and visiting the US. I'm from the Netherlands. No, it's not in the Middle East. Yes, we do have electricity and running water. It is fucking terrifying to see how uninformed many Americans are, and the fact that they flat out do not seem to care at all about how disconnected they are from the rest of the world. Edit. Grammar stuff. Owning the rebel Confederate flag and flying it proudly. Bonus points if you're from a state that was never a part of the Confederacy. Any article of clothing with a Confederate flag. Accusing people of being overeducated is a personal attack. It just makes me think that the person doing it, 1, doesn't understand the value of education, and 2, didn't when they were in school either. A bunch of people on Reddit talking about how much smarter they are than everyone else. When I was young I thought New York City was in Japan. Not being able to read your question. MAGA hat. Believing in zodiac signs. They protest, complain, or post about something they literally know nothing about, all the while acting like an expert. Listening to Dr. Oz. They believe everything they see on Facebook is absolute fact. I can't stand a kid who thinks he's smart. In other words, you don't like someone younger showing you up and making you feel stupid. Liberi.